Okay, quick update to the previous video. Um, I realized that a lot of my examples were for women who were in relationships. That's it's kind of hard not to do that because that's my space. Um, I want to leave an example for those ladies who you find yourself misunderstood with this sort of personality um, once you meet someone or you're in a dating. I don't necessarily, guys, you know me. If you've been following me for a while, I'm not into the whole dating thing. Um, I literally have not been on a date with nobody but Ron. In the 3 years that I had been single, I had not been on a date because that's just not where my focus was. I always believed that the word says that when a man finds, and you heard Ron say when he saw me or met me in Dallas, God told him I was his wife. Okay, so I've always believed that. So honestly, I can't really speak from what I did dating because I never dated. But I want to say this for those of you that find yourselves in somewhat of a relationship with someone, maybe it's you're dating for marriage or whatever that thing is. You say, well, Donna, how do I make those tools work for me? Um, how do you make those tools work for you? Let's say, for instance, you're leaving work and he has asked you out for dinner. I have some ladies who don't go to dinner with gentlemen because that's just their boundary. They will do breakfast and lunch, but not dinner. So that's that part. But let's just say you're going for dinner or whatever the date is. Watch your conversation. Watch when he shares things with you, how you respond. Um, be conscious of responding from a masculine space versus a feminine space. You too, when you're in those conversations, and even over the phone, a lot of this can be over the phone. Even over the phone, he goes into these conversations where he's sharing things with you. Be more inclined to respond with questions rather than statements. Hopefully that makes sense. I went back and I listened to the video, and I said I still kept using examples for women because I gave my examples with Ron. Guys, I don't know any other way because, I mean, I was married for 40 years, divorced for 3, and then remarried within 6 months after this man found me. So I don't have, and I'm proud of it. It's not a bad thing. I don't have the dating history that some women have. So they say, well, I was with this guy and this happened. I don't have that. So my lessons have been within the relationships that I believe God has allowed. But I just believe that we're on to something if we just kind of chill a little bit and start asking questions in the engagement of the conversation versus always having something to say in a statement or whatever. One of the things that I realized too is if you go to give him your feedback in the form of a statement and you can kind of tell he's turned off by it, just I'm gonna tell you why you should just zip it, because he's no longer listening to you. He's already formed an opinion of what you're about to say. She thinks she know everything. I don't really want to hear all that. I just wanted to tell her how I feel. That's where he's at. He's not even listening to you. He's not. So if you get that energy back from him, like you missing the point, or you don't, if you get that, just he's not even listening to you anymore. Because, whether it's just he just wanted you to listen, or you'd have been better off just asking a question. Why do you think that is, babe? So I just wanted to leave that for those of you that say, well, that's great. People tend to find things that doesn't necessarily fit them, but it all fits. So you listen to what I'm saying, and you know that what you've been doing and how you've been responding is not working. So why not back up a little bit, let him lead the conversation? You have to, because sometimes we feel like we have to give our experience, especially in your latter years, because you have a lot of experience in dating. And if you've been single for a long time, dating these men, other relationships, friendships. You have a lot of experience. Ron and I have been in this thing called life for over 6.5 decades. We have a lot of experience that we bring to the table. But when the person is communicating with you, they don't necessarily want to hear your experience. They don't want to hear the practical side of things. Honestly, God could be dealing with them with something spiritual, and you're trying to add the natural or the practical and give that advice. No. Just in the conversation that you're trying to trying to keep going, just ask a question. Why do you think that is? A lot of times we answer our own questions. We solve our own problems, if you would. So that's all I wanted to say, because I was listening to it and I listened to my examples. Even on the end, I really wanted to talk to the ladies that are single, that are not in covenant relationships. And my example was still one that was in a covenant relationship. And so I wanted to get back on here to say, this will still work if you're in a dating relationship, or, we have all different names for it. I don't necessarily believe in dating, but if you're in a relationship where you have decided to date for marriage and you guys are talking and you're trying to build your foundation and this is before he proposes and all that, just watch how you communicate with him, and be careful that you don't take work into that date, into that whatever that date is, into that conversation, because the conversation could be over the phone. So that's all I wanted to say, was that it's still about how you communicate and what kind of energy are you bringing to the conversation. Is it masculine or is it feminine? All right. Have a great day, guys.